Imagine this, your hard-earned savings being drained away by nursing home costs. It's a reality for many, but it doesn't have to be yours. Let's explore how to protect your assets from these daunting expenses. Hi, I'm estate planning attorney Mike Smith with Smith Barid LLC, and I'm one half of the Estate Planning Guys. Today, we're delving into strategies to protect your assets from the high costs associated with long-term care, particularly nursing home care. Often, the cost of nursing home care can exceed as much as $100,000 a year. It's super expensive. These costs include medical care, personal assistance, living accommodations, so it can be very expensive. There are three main ways that we can pay for nursing home care. The first one is private pay, so we can just use our own assets to pay. That obviously can have a huge impact on the value of your estate and mean that you might not be leaving as much for your children or family members that you wanted to. The second way that we can pay for long-term care is with what's called long-term care insurance. And there are different types of long-term care insurance. There's traditional long-term care insurance, which is going to be very similar to a healthcare policy where you pay premiums in, and then when you have a claim, you file a claim against the policy. And then there are hybrid policies that offer life insurance benefits that can be used for long-term care, but that way, if you don't ever use the policy, the life insurance benefit is there for your family or your children when you pass away. So different types of long-term care insurance, and the details of all that is beyond the scope of this video today. But just know that there are some different types of long-term care insurance besides the old traditional long-term care insurance to pay for nursing home costs. And the third way that we can pay is with government benefits. So there are two main programs that are available to help pay for long-term care. Those are Medicaid, which is a federal program that's administered by the state, so it's slightly different in every state. And the other one is a benefit that's intended for wartime veterans. It's called Veterans Aid and Attendance. So let's talk about, from an estate planning perspective, how we can plan for long-term care. Now, trusts, are especially irrevocable trusts, are essential in protecting assets from nursing home costs. So if we need to get someone qualified for Medicaid so that they can receive government benefits to help pay for that nursing home care, one of the ways that we can do that is with some pre-planning, where we create a special type of irrevocable trust that's not a countable resource for Medicaid purposes, and we move the client's assets into that trust. Then when they need to apply for Medicaid, that trust doesn't count as a resource, and they can meet the income and asset requirements for Medicaid. Now, I said that's pre-planning, and the reason that I specifically mentioned pre-planning is that Medicaid has a 5-year look-back period. So when you file the application for Medicaid, there's a question on the application which says, have you transferred any assets to anyone else or to a trust in the last 5 years, the last 60 months? And if the answer to that question is yes, then you're not immediately eligible for Medicaid. You're going to have to wait some period of time equal to the amount of assets that you transferred into a trust or to a family member. So when we do pre-planning for Medicaid, what we want to do is get 5 years, at least 5 years out in advance of when you might need long-term care, so that those assets are out of your estate for at least 5 years before you're filing that application. And then they don't count for Medicaid eligibility purposes. So if you're interested in learning more about how we help families protect their legacies from probate, predators, and government intrusions, I wrote a free book titled The Ultimate Gift that lays it all out. If you'd like to pick up your free copy of The Ultimate Gift, simply click the link below, give us your address and a credit card for shipping and handling fees, and we'll ship it out to you free of charge. Read The Ultimate Gift so you can learn how to protect your family. So it is pre-planning. That's why it's important to think about these things and pay attention to these possibilities that you'll need long-term care. And by the way, there's a 70% chance that you will need some sort of long-term care before you pass away. So the odds are really high that you're going to need long-term care. So it's important to do this planning before you need to go into the nursing home. Sometimes, if somebody knows that there are health issues that are going to cause them to be in a nursing home, we want to do the planning well in advance of the need for long-term care or the need for nursing home care. But even without that, as we age, we know that it becomes a higher and higher probability that we're going to need some sort of long-term care. And so that planning piece, it's planning for a reason. We have to do it ahead of time. We have to pre-plan. We have to plan. We can't just show up one day and create the trust, move the assets, and qualify for long-term care, or qualify for Medicaid benefits. The other thing to know about Medicaid is that there are some ways, if someone has waited and not done the planning and now they're in a nursing home, there are some things we can do to protect a portion of the assets, but we have much less flexibility when we're doing what we call crisis planning. So somebody's already in the nursing home, it's a crisis, and now we have to get something in place, and we have much less flexibility. So it's best, when you think about long-term care, to be out in front of when you're going to need it and get that planning done well in advance of needing to be in a nursing home or some other type of long-term care. Long-term care insurance is really important. I mentioned a couple of different types. There's another type of long-term care financial, vehicle that you can use to plan for long-term care, and that's an annuity. So there are annuities that can provide income for care expenses. And generally the way they work is that you buy the annuity, it provides a lifetime income to you. And if you need that for long-term care, then the benefit typically doubles. So that income you're receiving from the annuity will double during that time period that you need long-term care. There are generally restrictions on how long it lasts. So it may be a 3-year benefit period or a 5-year benefit period. And by the way, most people are in a nursing home for less than 3 years. So a lot of times you'll see that the benefit period on a long-term care policy or an annuity is going to be in a 3-year time frame, 3 to 5 year time frame. Those annuities are available. Long-term care insurance, both traditional and hybrid that I mentioned earlier, are available to help pay for long-term care as well. There are also some misconceptions and pitfalls about long-term care. One misconception is that it's too late to plan after a health crisis. It's true that we have more flexibility if we do the planning in advance, but there are things we can do when someone has a crisis. So if someone has suddenly had to go into a nursing home care and they have too many assets to qualify for Medicaid, there are things that we can do to assist in that kind of situation. And there are ways that we can even get long-term care policies put inside of trusts that can offer additional potential benefits to help pay for long-term care. It's really important that you get professional advice. So I think there are two things that are important. One is an elder law attorney. So elder law attorneys are specialized estate planning attorneys who focus on assisting with long-term care. I mean, that is their primary service that they provide, is to help seniors with navigating long-term care and the legal and financial aspects of it. And the second thing you need a long-term care insurance specialist. So there are a lot of insurance agents out there, and just like with doctors or anything else, they all kind of focus on different areas. And so it's important to find an insurance agent who specifically focuses on long-term care and can provide you with advice and counseling on long-term care insurance and what's the best option for you and your family. So you want to have those two things in place. Planning for nursing home costs is complex, but it's really essential. For tailored guidance, you can reach out to us at Smith Barid. I am an elder law attorney and life and health insurance agent, so I can help with both the long-term care insurance aspects. I don't sell the policies, but I understand them and I know how they work. And so I can help you to find the appropriate policies for your family. And we bring in a specialist that can talk with you about your long-term care needs. And I'm an elder law attorney, so I have a lot of experience with planning for veterans, aid attendants, and Medicaid. I can bring that to bear. And there's 2 of us on the team that have that experience and credentialing. So we're uniquely positioned to help with planning for long-term care and for nursing home care. So thanks for joining me today. I'm Mike Smith on the Estate Planning Guys channel. Remember to like, subscribe, and share for more estate planning insights. Stay prepared and stay informed. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, then take a moment right now to subscribe by clicking below and turn on the bell notification so you get notified every time we post up a new video. Right now we're posting 3 videos a week with lots of information about various estate planning topics, so you're going to want to make sure to stay on top of that. Click below to subscribe and click right over here to watch the next most relevant video about estate planning. Go watch it now.